Hello, my name is Vlad Senic and I'm from class 1A. Today I'll talk about sports media. So first of all, my relationship with media, it's pretty much it is there because I know there's a lot of people that don't have any relationship at all with media. But as a football fan, like a really passionate football, I tend to follow and I actually follow a lot of pages related to this sport. Just to name a few apps that I use: Facebook, YouTube, of course, Instagram, not to mention. But I don't use Twitter, which I know is pretty popular in the world of football. When I say that I watch football on the internet on these apps, I refer mainly to the fact that I receive a lot of news about them. So this is the media that I get from it. Then, what do I think about the news that I see? Well, as any other sports industries, there are pages that kind of say another unfolding or have clickbait titles just to make people click on them. So I got to the point that at least for my country, Romania, I know the websites that tend to exaggerate the titles and headlines and everything. So I don't follow those pages and I stick to my loyal ones, which I know that have really good information. The journalists there are very professional. Most of them work on the TV as well with other companies or in football studios before matches and or just talk shows. So I know that they're trustworthy. Uh, and yeah, I'm skeptical about what I said in the beginning about some fishy pages which only focus on people getting clicks from people and everything. So I'm not buying that. And how my team or athlete is portrayed in media? Well, I'll start by saying that my favorite football team is Steaua Bucharest, FCSB right now. They play in the first division in Romania and actually won the title. What can I mention about them is that they're the most popular team in Romania, and it's not because I support them. It's a truth, and you can see it portrayed by the media in the way that anything, like literally anything, is portrayed in the media. If a player breathes from Steaua Bucharest, FCSB, it's an article. If their boss, you have a kind of crazy boss, which always after matches, which are not even Steaua matches, like if another team plays or the national team plays, there's like at least 5, 6 journalists in front of his big house in Bucharest asking them, what do you think about the performance? What do you think about your players that went to the national team? Was the match fixed or stuff like that? So anything he says, and he also says some controversial stuff about females, but he's really religious. It's yeah, they don't really kiss each other. But yeah, this guy is the image of this club. So besides the fact that it's a popular club and most of the people from this country support this club and they want to see articles about it, so everybody talks about it. Then there's this guy Gigi Becali, the boss of the team, which I said is kind of yeah, and everybody's following him. They're getting views out of him. He's always invited to talk on the TV shows. Yeah, and that's it. And my favorite footballer, sportsman, let's say, is a footballer, Lionel Messi. Of course, you know him. How is he portrayed? Well, because he's that popular, everybody talks about him. It's not really much to add. Here, he's popular. Everything he moves, he breathes, everybody knows. And not only from my country, this is on an international scale. Everybody knows about him. He's kind of portrayed compared to Cristiano Ronaldo. He's portrayed as a good guy. That's what I can say. The media try tends to get Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, as a bad guy out of certain situations. When in reality, he just has another personality. I'm a fan of Messi, but as you can see, I'm realistic and just say that there are two different types of people. They have different personalities, and just because one is more tempered than the other, that doesn't mean that he's a bad guy or he's just more passionate. Maybe at the end of the day, who knows? But the media portrays them as different that they're just people at the end of the day. So my first missed class was the online class of the first week, where you actually introduced us the assignment, uh, basically what to do on the video, just a few tips and tricks. Then you talked about the 3-act structure, which is a storytelling framework that divides a narrative in 3 parts: the setup, the confrontation, and the resolution. Then, the setup is the foundation of the story. It introduces the main characters to the world, in the world they live in. Then the main problem or conflict is either revealed or hinted at, just a few insights about it, setting the stage for the story to be unfold. Then, and as an example, no, actually, the main characters are introduced as the who part. At the what part, the main problem of the conflict is presented. And as an example, I chose here a name. His name is Alex. He's a young chef and dreams of opening his new restaurant, but lacks funding and experience. This is the beginning of the story. Then confrontation, the road of trials, which is the longest part of the story. Here, the main character faces a lot of challenges, obstacles to test their abilities and develop them. The section builds tension and develops the story emotional and physical stakes, where the main setting, where challenges occur, and when the time frame and the main events, and why the motivations behind the characters' actions. And then the example about Alex again. He works in a high pressure restaurant, facing personal and professional challenges over several months to prove himself to a potential investor. Then the third part, the resolution, the return home. It wraps up the story, resolving the main conflict, basically like a conclusion of the story, showing the outcome of the characters' journeys, how they develop during the main body of the story. Then it provides closure and demonstrates how characters have changed or what they have learned. How the main problem is solved, and the conclusion is there, as I said. And for my character, Alex, he impresses the investor, secures the funding, and opens his own restaurant in the end, achieving his dream. So in this example, it's a very nice story and positive one. Then in the first lesson as well, the online lesson, you also talked about the B-roll, which is a filmmaking and video production for enhancing the viewer's experience. It adds layers of context, visual interest, and helps maintain a smooth narrative flow. Then directors use B-roll to strategically implement storytelling by providing supplementary footage, and it complements and reinforces the main footage, the A-roll actually. And these techniques not only keeps the audience engaged, but also deepens their understanding of the subject. And that's basically it. And also, I would like to mention a really important thing that Shuma also said in this lesson: the existence of the Canva app, canva.com, which is an app you recommended and mentioned there for better animations and graphics. The second lesson that I missed is actually the second online lesson, in which you talked about media framing, and it's the way information and news stories are presented by the media, which influences how audiences receive and interpret that information. Also, it involves selecting certain aspects of perceived reality and making them easier to understand in a better communication text, promoting a particular problem definition, also causal interpretation, moral evaluation, and treatment recommendation. I have here 2 examples. A new story describes 2 politicians arguing over a new law, focusing on their heated debates and disagreements. And the second example is a report on a community project that highlights a touching story about a local resident whose life was improved by a certain project. Then the second main important thing that you spoke about was the media representation, which refers to the way in which media, such as television, film, radio, magazines, internet in general, portray various groups, communities, experiences, ideas, or just topics in general. These portrayals can shape and influence public perception and understanding. And I have here one general and not taboo example, but kind of actual one, and everybody talks about the gender representation. So the first one is a positive example: a TV show that features features strong independent female characters in leading roles, showing them in a variety of professions and life situations. When on the other part, in a negative example, advertisements that often depict women only as homemakers or in domestic roles, reinforcing traditional gender roles, which is, of course, outdated. My third absence happened during the first guest speaker lecture in week 5. Cohen Groven was present there. Of course, I wasn't, so I don't know that many information about it, about what happened there, but I just made a short introduction. Cohen Greven is a Dutch journalist and author known for his work and various publications, and he has written extensively on cultural topics, literature, and music. Also, he has contributed to the prominent Dutch newspapers and magazines such as NRC Handelsblad, something I hope it's at least close, and Vrij Nederland. For week 7, I saw that you wanted to speak as well about the second guest speaker, and I made a short introduction here as well. Marloes van Ekelenburg something is known as the chief of assignment of ESPN Netherlands. She has been involved in overseeing and managing assignments for ESPN in the Netherlands, likely contributing to the network's sport coverage and operations in the region. About her, I can say what I enjoyed because I was there, of course. I really like the fact that she was really professional. Like, she knew what she was talking about. She is in the domain, and she was convincing in everything she said, which again is, I feel like it's a really important trait to have as a journalist. And maybe she wasn't born with it, of course, but by doing it over and over again, she got to the point that she can even convince, not only by writing but by speaking whatever she's saying. So she convinced me about everything she said, challenges, and how everything unfolds there in this, not only ISPN war, but in the journalism world in general. And then my relationship with the media. I've always enjoyed keeping up with sports news and updates throughout the media, as I said in the beginning. Learning about how the media frames stories and portrays athletes has helped me see beyond the surface and understand perspectives which are, as I mentioned again before, not always not always good, but at least they're there, right? I like to also watch football shows, TV shows, in which football pundits that are always represented by journalists or just ex-footballers are really interesting to see their opinion about what the football world means nowadays. Then how I consume sport media. Before, I mainly enjoyed sports news for fun and to follow my favorite teams and players. Now I pay more attention on how stories are presented, because it's more important to me to see the truth rather than just reading an article and just feeling fed by the fact that they speak about my favorite athlete or team. So yeah. Then as for my future, I think that it's important to understand more dynamics. It's crucial, actually, and knowing how the media works will help me handle press and social media better. With my positive view of media, I think I will be able to engage fans and build a good representation for my team of athletes, which I dream about. My dream is to actually be either a scouter or to represent players, to basically be somehow their image. So I need to have a certain media training, and I feel like this course really helped me in doing so. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me speaking about mainly what I've missed, but also my introduction. Maybe you got to know more about me, and I feel like that as well. And enjoy the summer. Thank you.